Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to the Tohono O'odham Nation. Thank you for being here. I had the opportunity yesterday to sit in a cultural training that we had on site for some of the workers, and it was a good reminder of our ancestors, and it was a good reminder of where we come from, and it was a good reminder that we are on trust land, that we are on the Tohono O'odham Nation. And so I just wanted to start out by welcoming you to the Tohono O'odham Nation. I also wanted to make reverence, today's also Earth Day, April 22nd. So we wanted to make sure that we are with our brothers and sisters from the San Carlos Apache tribe who are fighting against they're fighting to save Oak Flats. So special blessings out to them because of Earth Day. And today's Administrative Day. Did everybody know that? Yeah. Did everybody? Oh, Libby, I'm sure you got flowers for Ollie. Well, there's still a chance. The day's not over, so you can run out and get something for your admin. So I also wanted to let everybody know why we're here today. We're here to give an update. As you've seen, there's lots of progress that has happened. The last event that we had on property here was mid-March, and we had a topping off. And even since then, we've had lots of progress. And so we wanted to give you an update of what has occurred and our plans of continuing to move forward. I'm sure everyone knows that there's been recent developments of misguided misinformation that is out there, and we want to make sure that that the nation has the opportunity to state what we believe in. So today is a good day. I want to wish everybody blessings, and I just want to go ahead and let's get started. We have the opportunity and the privilege to hear from one of the local city council, and Sammy Chavira is our first council person we'd like to hear. So please welcome Sammy Chavira.
I was just thanking Trina for her infectious laugh. I can say Trina and she'll laugh. See? Well, that's good. I'm glad we all got started off on a good note. Humor, we had a blessing first, humor. But this is a very, very, very serious issue while we're here today. I want to do, first of all, I want to welcome all the elected officials that are here. I want to especially welcome the community that showed up, our labor partners, construction workers, everybody that's here. But I especially want to thank my colleagues who are taking time out of their busy day today for this issue that they really believe with all their hearts. I'm going to take you back a little bit. 1972, I was a little boy, 7 years old, working in the fields with my father. Back then, the governor was Governor Jack Williams, and there was a big issue going on, the little boy. I remember working in the fields with my father around here, just not too far from here. When we got done working, I remember on a Friday, we used to pass by this dairy farm, and as a treat, I used to love raw milk. So it was like buying Mother Nature's milkshake, so that's what I would do. But the reason why I'm bringing up 1972, a huge travesty occurred then. It's when the governor, the state attorney general, and our legislators got involved to make it illegal to strike in the fields while there's perishables. That took away all their leverage. And that's why Caesar came here in 1972 to strike. He was on a food strike to let everybody know that, once again, politics has intervened for self-interest and not for the interest of the workers and the families. Today, the issue that we have today is this. The city of Glendale reached out. Well, let me take you back a little bit. A few years ago, Chairman, our city wasn't on the same side. A year ago, 4-3 vote. Now, thanks to my colleagues, 6-1. So this is the point I'm going to try to make, ladies and gentlemen, just plain and simple. You have jobs, economic development. You have a shot in the arm. We have a shot in the arm, not only for the city of Glendale, not only for the city of Peoria, the city of Tolleson, all the wonderful, beautiful cities that have joined in this cause. This is so important not only to the West Valley, and what gets me is that if it's good for the city of Glendale, if it's good for the surrounding cities, if it's good for our union labor community, if it's good for the federal government, Chairman, how many court cases are we at now?
16.
And how many have we won? All right, if I was a baseball scout and you were batting about 500, I swallow you up in a heartbeat. This is batting 1,000, and we're walking away. At the end of the day, if this is good for the city of Glendale, this is good for the West Valley, this is good for the federal government, it sure should be good or great for the city, for the state of Arizona. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to represent the closest district in the closest city to this project. Like I like to say, it's cradled on 3 sides by the Yucca district. But this issue is not about my district. It's not about the city of Glendale. This is about the entire West Valley. The reason why I mentioned what Caesar had done in 1972, because it primarily affected the West Valley. My family lives in the city of Tolleson. Great Mayor Gamez has been there for about 30 years as in politics. And the thing is, most of our families, his parents, my parents, they worked in the fields. They came out to the West Valley to work in the fields primarily. Okay, well now, this come back 40 years forward. Now we have a project that is going to bring prosperity, going to bring jobs, going to bring people together. This is going to infuse our economic system, our economic development at a rate that we probably won't be able to measure. And here, instead of, the city of Glendale has reached out to the governor and to the attorney general. We reached out to them so we could sit down and have incredible dialogue. But guess what happened in turn? I would always ask our city attorney, Mr. Bailey, have we received a meeting date with the governor and the attorney general? No, not yet. And then my dear friend, Chairman Norris, gives me a call. Brother, how are you doing? And I could tell by that, brother, how are you doing, that something was going on. And what it was, he goes, Sam, well, we've heard from the state. Oh, great, Chairman, when do we go to the meeting? Well, it's not like that, Sam. The Arizona Department of Gaming, ADOG, has accused us of wrongdoing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right here, all of you are accused of wrongdoing. If you support economic development, if you support jobs, if you support sustaining the West Valley, if you support what's doing right, then we're guilty. So, in that being said, I'd like to encourage each and every one of you to reach out to the governor, to reach out to the attorney general, and let them know that please get out of the way. Let us bring back what the West Valley has always wanted: economic development, jobs, education, prosperity. It is in our hands. So one thing, and this might be just too simple for me to understand, or maybe just the opposite, maybe too difficult for me to understand. But when somebody reaches out to you and wants to have dialogue, this seems like deja vu all over again. And yes, I'm quoting Yogi Berra. And the thing is, when this project first came, and to quote Councilmember Gary Sherwood, the Tohono Nation was given 45 minutes. And to quote Gary Sherwood, it was criminal. And certainly it was. Here we're reaching out, wanting to sit down, wanting to have positive dialogue that's going to bring beautiful things to this West Valley. And guess what we get instead of an invite? It's basically a slap in the face. So ladies and gentlemen, I ask you, and I plead with you, and I implore with you, please rise up, do the right thing, support jobs, support our future, support everything that is at our fingertips. And where this comes from is that with the foresight that has been brought to us by the Tohono O'odham Nation to embrace us in this project, to embrace the West Valley, it is something God-given. So ladies and gentlemen, I ask you once again, please reach out and voice your opinion of how wonderful this project is. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you, Councilman Chavira. He's absolutely right. 1,300 jobs on and off site will be jeopardized, are in jeopardy. That's families that count on those paychecks. That's economic development within the community. We have experts here in the community that surround us, that care about it, that want this project. And so we're rallying together in support of this project. Our next speaker is from Tolleson, Mayor Gamez from Tolleson, who was actually the first city who officially came out in support of the nation's project. And in a large part, that was due to Mayor Gamez, so thank you.
Hear that laugh again. Good morning. Buenos dias. I'm so proud of Sammy. He learned very, very well. Thank you, Sammy.
Thank you, brother.
And I'm proud to say that Tolleson was the first West Valley city to formally support the nation's project. Before making this decision, we studied the issue, realizing enormous benefits this project will bring, and recognized that the nation was adhering to the law in pursuing it. You might have been the first, but pretty soon plenty of other communities took a look at the West Valley Resort and reached the same conclusion. Now Tolleson is joined in this support by Glendale, Peoria, and Surprise, 4 cities that represent more than 500,000 people in the West Valley, and thousands others living in the region. This popular support for the West Valley Resort is overwhelming. In my interactions with my constituents, I hear again and again how they support the project and are looking forward to the jobs it's bringing and the entertainment opportunities it will create. It's the same message. No matter who I'm speaking with, Republican or Democrat, young or old, everybody seems to support this project, except those special interests in the East Valley looking to protect their market share, even at the expense of the West Valley jobs and opportunities. It is deeply disappointing to see special interests tired misinformation finding a welcome from Arizona elected officials who should know better. The forces arrayed against this economic development project are powerful, but they are a few. It's becoming very clear to me that the only way we can ensure that the West Valley and Arizona will enjoy the jobs, the growth, and the entertainment the nation is trying to bring, or trying to build, is that if we all work together. I know that we have many avid supporters here today, and many more in the West Valley who also support creating jobs in our community. We must, all of us, contact Governor Ducey by phone, by email, by an old-fashioned letter. Let him know, let him really know how strongly we support this project. Let him know how many people in the West Valley want this thing to happen. And let him know that we vote. Working together is the only way we'll be able to beat the special interest money and keeping jobs right here, right now. Thank you to the nation for their leadership on this issue, and thank you to all the leaders here today that are supporting positive growth for the entire West Valley. See these individuals sitting over here? That's what it's all about. Jobs. Jobs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Gamez. It really is important, and I can't stress it enough. The jobs that are being provided, we, as the enterprise, I'm the Director of Public Relations, and it really is important to us to build relationships. That's a part of our business. That's who we are. That's what we do. And I wanted to acknowledge and thank the cities and the surrounding areas, the surrounding communities that have welcomed us, that want to build relationships, that want to work together. So thank you for that. It's important to us. It's how we do business. It's who we are. So thank you for that opportunity to do so. Next. Our next speaker is Vice Mayor of Glendale, Ian Hugh, who has also been a longtime advocate for the West Valley Resort. Ian? I'm sorry, Vice Mayor.
Yeah, Sammy and his baseball analogies, you pulled them all out, didn't you? Listen, my wife
I can't even throw a ball.
Yeah, thanks.
That's true.
My wife wouldn't come today because she hates it if she knows I'm going to speak anywhere and she doesn't like being recognized. My wife, Sharon, raise your hand so everybody knows you're here with me today. Listen, speaking here is easy. It's like being in church. Everybody's on the same team here. If those who don't know me, I'm Vice Mayor of the City of Glendale. I'm a lifelong resident of the City of Glendale. I was born here, spent my whole life here. I'm also a lifelong Republican. I was very pleased when my candidate won the governorship. I was excited when we were asked to attend a speech that the governor was going to do a luncheon out at the Wigwam. I was excited to be there. I was happy to see he was talking about economic development and how the future for the West Side was bright. I was optimistic when I joined Mayor Gamez and others on a letter to the governor representing, as you know, 500,000 supporters on the West Side to please drop the opposition to the Tohono Nation's resort casino. Well, I think, unfortunately, he has gotten some bad advice, and it's not accurate. And there is fraud. Fraud, in my mind, would be touting Prop 202, which was voted on by the citizens, as stopping the TO Nation from building. Well, the courts have ruled that's not what Prop 202 says. It says the complete opposite, that they may build another casino. To me, that's fraud. I think it's fraud when the federal government ruins homes, churches on the TO land. They strike a deal many, many years ago, which said they could acquire land without restriction in unincorporated areas such as Maricopa County, without restrictions, and they did. And then to try to say, well, we're changing our mind about the restrictions, I think that's fraud. I think possibly some of the bad advice is quite harmful. And now I had a call from a reporter wanting to know about, well, the East Side elected officials there against the resort casino in Glendale. I said, well, are they telling you that please don't allow that to happen? It's going to ruin the housing market in Glendale, or please tell Glendale crime's going to go up, or please tell Glendale don't do it. They're going to expend money on services and never recoup their funding, or please don't do it. It's just going to ruin the neighborhoods. They go, well, no, that's not what they're saying. I go, well, I'd be impressed if they stood up saying that's what happened. They like the resorts on the East Side. They go, yes, they do. Well, what they're saying is they can have them. We can't have the resorts on this side. And it's pitting the West Side now, because we're not going to give up. It's pitting the West Side against the East Side. And it's not a comfortable feeling to have that instead of the cities all working together. And hopefully the governor will change his mind and decide that we need to pull the East Side, the West Side. Let's all work together. As Sammy said, everybody's going to win by having a productive resort casino on the West Side. It will help the entire valley, and it will certainly make life much easier. And it's going to attract tourism even better than we have now, which will affect the whole state. And with Glendale, we have the only deal with any gaming nation. We receive revenues. $1.4 million, and that's in our budget for the next fiscal year. We need the money. If we don't receive it because this project is stopped, there's going to be some serious cuts. And we're just starting to come out in Glendale from the financial situation that we're in. I can't say enough. We need to keep the promise, and keep the promises that they're allowed to build a resort casino in Glendale and help the whole West Valley and the state of Arizona. Thank you.
To give a phrase of the day. Phrase of the day. An autumn phrase of the day. The council's probably cringing right now. I want to teach everyone how to say good day. Okay, so repeat after me. Skug. Tash. Was that okay? Okay. So now when you see it, it's easier than Tohono O'odham because we hear that all the time in all different ways. So that's your phrase for the day. Your O'odham phrase for the day is Skug Tash. Yay! Good job. I want to bring up our final speaker today. Chairman Ned Norris has served in his position for 8 years and has worked closely with the nation's Legislative Council, the San Lucie District, and the San Lucie District in overseeing the development and implementation of this project. Please give Chairman Norris a hand.
Wow. You know, I had the opportunity to, well, before I say this, you know, obviously look around at what's going on here. Look at what progress has been made on this $400 million project that the nation has committed its own resources to build, with no incentives from the city or surrounding cities. The nation has committed its own resources to get this done. The nation is prepared to continue to commit those resources to get this job done. $400 million worth of construction, $400 million worth of contracts, $400 million worth of employment opportunities and permanent jobs once we have the facility up and running. Where else in this state of Arizona do you see a project of this magnitude, of this possibilities and impacts that's going to have on the state's economy in the state of Arizona? Look at it. Look at it. You know, I had the opportunity to attend Governor Ducey's State of the State address in Oro Valley. For those of you that don't know where Oro Valley is, that's just north of Tucson. I was going to say Tucson, but my friend and mayor in Oro Valley might make it a point that you didn't say that right. That was in our city, Oro Valley, not Tucson. And I also had the opportunity to hear the governor speak on the State of State address in Litchfield Park. And on both of those opportunities, I was extremely encouraged by what I heard. Extremely encouraged by what I heard. Because we talked about economic development. He talked about the impacts of the recession. He talked about the need to create jobs and create opportunity to help the state of Arizona deal with and get out of this recession. And I thought, great. That is great. I'm glad to see a governor come in and make those kinds of statements, so bold, so strong, and so willing to begin the journey, the process of reversing the economic situation in our state of Arizona. What's disappointing today is that that commitment that he made to every citizen in the state of Arizona doesn't include the Tohono O'odham Nation. It doesn't include the jobs that we have created so far in this project. It doesn't include these workers that are going to be negatively impacted if this project is taken away. It doesn't include those multi-million dollars of contracts that we have already awarded to contractors, to subcontractors. And it doesn't include the fact that once complete, this project will have a financial benefit impact to the state of Arizona to a tune of about $300 million annually. How can a governor stand up and talk about economic development, addressing the recession situation that we're faced with, and deny an opportunity with this $400 million project to help him accomplish that effort? How can anybody in their right mind, how can anybody in leadership take such a negative position on this project? It blows my mind. It blows my mind. But you know, the other thing that's appalling and that's disappointing and discouraging is the recent letters that we received from the state gaming agency, Department of Gaming, who didn't issue those letters until after they received a directive from the governor that they were not to do their job by ensuring that they accomplish their regulatory responsibilities in accordance with the compacts that all tribes signed with the state of Arizona. That is discouraging. You know, we talk about the Arizona Department of Gaming being an independent regulatory agency. Maybe we need to define to the governor what independent really means. Independent of what? Everybody else except me, the governor. Because I'm telling you now, you're not going to do what the compact obligates and mandates you to do. Because that's exactly what his letter told them to do. Violate the law. Ignore the fact that the courts have already ruled on those issues that we have been litigating for the last 5.5, almost 6 years. Direct the state gaming agency to defy the orders of the courts, to not do what the courts have already determined. We are in our rightful way, we are in the right to be able to move forward with this project. You know, it wasn't always this way. In February, I received a letter from the Arizona Department of Gaming. And in that letter, the State Department of Gaming Director outlined his reasons why the State Department of Gaming Agency wouldn't be able to do what they're obligated to do under the compact. Basically, the letter was singing the song of those two East Valley tribes that have been on this campaign to destroy economic opportunity in the West Valley. And they said things like, this is not authorized by the compact, that you're going to break the compact if we move forward and do our certifications and so on and so forth. Those issues have been resolved, Arizona Department of Gaming. The courts have already ruled on those issues. Look at the judge's decisions. Look at those 13 decisions that we have had in our favor. But I also want you to read those decisions that were favorable to the two East Valley tribes. Because I know he isn't going to find any that have ruled in any of their favor on those issues. And then we went ahead, and I didn't feel it was my elected obligation to respond to a letter from a director of from the state, I wanted to have our lead litigation attorney, Mr. Seth Waxman, former U.S. Attorney General for the United States of America, who has been litigating this issue on behalf of the nation, to respond to that letter. And he did, and very succinctly explained in the legalities associated with this whole case, where it's been, what the compact provides, what the compact authorizes, what the obligation of the state of Arizona is in order to comply with the provisions under the compact. Not long after that, we get a second letter in response to Mr. Waxman's letter. And basically it was an about face by Assistant Attorney General from the Department of Gaming, Bannon, who in essence said, we will make sure that we comply with every requirement that we have under the compact, that we recognize that the nation is ready, is authorized to move forward with this particular project, and we stand ready to work with you and do what the compact obligates us to do. Great. Another victory for the right, for what is right. And as a result of that, we had our lawyers and their lawyers meet and talk about, okay, we got the letter, we're ready to move forward, we want to sit down and talk with you and want to start discussing how we're going to begin to address these issues that require the state's input. Very good meeting. Very good meeting. We left there, and we feel they left there with a clear understanding they have some obligations and responsibilities and they're willing to comply with. We have some obligations and responsibilities we're going to comply with, and we're going to work together to get this done. So we're moving forward in that direction. And so what happened in the last week or two? Because then we get this other letter that basically takes an about face, contrary totally to what they said to us in their response to Mr. Waxman's letter. And I don't know whether or not the fact that the two East Valley tribes have pumped in $14.4 million in lawyers and lobbyists against our $5.2 million fighting us on this issue. I don't know if, well, actually I do, because it seems to me that money does talk, I suppose. It's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate that what we see now happening is political pressure being placed on the people that need to get this thing done, get their jobs done. From who? From congressional folks? From the governor? Who's putting the political pressure on them to make the about face? I don't think it's any coincidence that we're moving fine and moving in the right direction, and we got this understanding that we're going to work together. Then Congress takes their Easter recess, and during the Easter recess we get this negative letter. Is that coincidence? I don't think so. So do the research. Look at exactly to see what's going on. Understand what we mean, what the compact meant, what the state means when we talk about independent Arizona Department of Gaming. You know, tribes really need to be concerned about the fact that if the governor can strong-arm the independent Arizona Department of Gaming to not do what they're obligated to do under the terms of the compact, duly negotiated in good faith by all tribes, then other tribes need to be concerned. What is up? What may happen in the future? Regardless of how you feel about this issue, if the governor can politically strong-arm an independent agency to do nothing and to not follow the law and to not follow the court's decisions, what else should we tribes be concerned about? So it's you know, we heard about the jobs, we heard about the economic benefits, we heard about the fact that workers will be out of work, we heard about the fact that these multi-million-dollar contracts that have been awarded and subcontracts that have been awarded are going to go away if the two East Valley tribes who spent $14.4 million lobbying against us are successful in getting the politicians that have taken a position against us to pass the bills that are pending before Congress. It's really unfortunate. There's a lot to lose, and we all need to be concerned about that. The West Valley deserves the opportunity for economic development. The West Valley deserves the opportunity for job opportunity. The West Valley deserves everything that this multi-million-dollar project is going to bring to the citizens of this West Valley. We need to do something, folks. We need your continued support. My nation is not going to defer from its position. We will not allow politics to strong-arm us in taking away the property rights, the rights that have been guaranteed us, the promises that have been made by the United States government. We're not going to be deterred from that. You know, I don't make these decisions by myself. I have 24 legislative council members that play a major part in our efforts to get us to where we are at today. And I can stand here and tell you that not once in the last 6 years and 3 months has our legislative council given a second thought about what we are doing. And I want to acknowledge them today and make sure that they're recognized for their leadership that they have given and proven and worked with me on, and the vice chairwoman of the nation, to get us to where we are at today. So please, legislative council members, please stand and be recognized, those of you that are here. But you know, we couldn't get here, we couldn't do this without suffering, without one of our communities suffering many years ago as a result of flooding that flooded out almost 10,000 acres of our tribal community back in the late 60s, early 70s. It was their suffering that have allowed and forced the United States government to acknowledge their destruction of that property and promised the Gila Bend Indian community known at that time, now the San Lucie community, promised them the opportunity to replace that destroyed land and be able to use that land for all purposes, including the opportunity and the purpose of creating an economic development project. And I want to acknowledge the San Lucie community, the Gila Bend Indian community, for being strong, for being patient, for supporting our efforts to make this project become a reality. I don't see Chairman Manuel in the audience, but Chairman Manuel has been a very strong support in this effort. So we've got our leadership from the nation, we've got our leadership from the San Lucie community, but we couldn't get here either without the leadership of our elected officials. You know, we talk about working together, we talk about addressing the differences that we may have on issues. And we have done that, and we will continue to do that. We will continue to work with the surrounding jurisdictions. We will continue to work with the mayors, the vice mayors, the city council members. And we couldn't be here without their support today. So, would all the elected officials from this area please stand and be recognized? You know, over the course of time, I've been called a liar by the 2 East Valley tribes. I've been called greedy by the 2 East Valley tribes. And in fact, one of those former East Valley tribal leaders referred to me as the devil. I ain't lying. Got too many cameras in front of me for me to be lying. This is not about greed. This is not about evilness. This is not about lying. This is about protecting what is rightfully ours. This is about protecting the people that have suffered as a result of the flooding and had been forced off almost 10,000 acres to 40 acres to where they're sitting at today. This is about creating opportunity not only for the nation's members, but also for the citizens of the West Valley. Thank you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your continued support. We will not be deterred. We will continue to move forward. Thank you very much.
It is a good day. It is a good day. I'm proud to be a part of the nation who was able to mobilize the leadership, stand behind their people, stand behind their rights, a nation that is committed to the community. I'm proud to be a part of the Tohono O'odham Nation. I'm also proud to be a part of the Tohono O'odham gaming enterprise. Can I acknowledge the board members that are here? Please stand. And Andy and Libby, and any directors, management that are in attendance, please stand. I'm proud to be a part of an organization that is committed to the project, who is committed to providing 1,300 jobs in the community, who is committed to completing this first phase by the end of the year. We want to have this and open a casino by the end of the year. So I want to acknowledge the enterprise, and I want to also, again, it's a good day because it's good to be surrounded by friends. It's good to be surrounded by supporters and friends. So thank you. Thank you for all attending. Give yourselves a hand. So I believe we provided some sheets that included contact information for those elected officials. So if now you're thinking, what can I do? There's sheets that tell you what to do. Reach out to them and let them know the importance of the project. And that's it. If there are any additional questions, we have leadership available for comments. Thank you. Have a good day.